Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kauai County Council Roundup here at the Ho'ike studio. I'm Chair Mel Rapozo with Councilmember Aro Kaneshiro, and we will be recapping yesterday's meeting of September 17th. Short agenda, a lot of interesting items. First of all, we had a housing and urban development grant request for approval for $122,000, and this is really to supplement. It's a recurring grant that happens every year, and it supplements our family self-sufficiency program. It's just a program that we use to keep our local families that are on HUD assistance in their homes. And again, always much appreciated when we can get funding from the federal government. Next up was another request for $6,000, and this is for the prosecutor's office, or I'm sorry, for the county clerk's office. Every year we codify our code, a county code, and it's maintained by an external company. So this is a multi-year contract and a relatively small amount so that you all can, and we can look up our county code very quickly and know that it's current and accurate. And as we move on, we had a few bills. And these bills did have some debate or discussion. First one was on electric bicycles, and this one I know is a very hot topic right now, as you know, across the country, but more specifically here in Hawaii and on Kauai, we are experiencing an increase in our accidents involving electric bicycles. And you all know, you see these bicycles all over town and across the island, and not always being operated in a safe manner. Many of these e-bicycles are being operated by children without helmets. And Oahu did pass a bill a while back. The state legislature passed a bill that addresses this, but we wanted a localized bill. So we basically took from the state and other counties and put together our draft, and basically just provides a tool for two things. Number one, obviously enforcement of these electric bicycles, but also for awareness and to use this bill once it's passed to raise awareness in the community, mainly with parents, schools, and the community, so that we can have our kids operate these things safely.
Yeah, and I think the bill did a good job of also noting how to ride it safely. You know, like it had things like keeping the two wheels on the ground and things like that help make it more enforceable by the police. You know, and passenger has to be sitting on the seat. If it's not made for more than two people, there shouldn't be two people on it. So it just helped like lay out a little more foundation as far as what is not acceptable, as far as what they're doing along the highway.
You know, as a legislator, sometimes I think, you know, why do we need laws? Yeah, when some of these activities are so obviously dangerous. You mentioned keeping two wheels on the road. You know, you've seen them, right? You've seen them on the road where these guys are going down on popping a wheelie all the way down the street on these electric bicycles. Anyone under the age of 18 now will be required to wear a helmet that is certified and approved for bike riding, and it has to be fitted. It has to be strapped. Simple things that you would think. I mean, if I had my kids you got young kids, Aro, so. You know, you as a parent, right, you would think, I want my kid to be safe. I don't want my kid to get hurt or killed in an accident involving one of these bikes. But I often wonder, why is it so necessary that we got to pass a law to tell someone to be safe? But that's human nature.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see how dangerous they are. You know, if it's kids that don't know rules of the road, you know, who has the right of way and things like that. And yeah, it's just basically the ability to keep people safe at the end of the day.
The other thing this bill does, it specifically prohibits the high-speed electric bicycles. So you guys all know some of these bikes are capable of reaching very high rates of speed. This bill will pertain only to the e-bicycles that are less than 750 watts and cannot go more than 28 miles per hour. Anything that goes beyond that is strictly prohibited on any road, sidewalk, lane, public place. And that's going to cause some frustration in a community because there are some of these bikes that are out there. A lot of talk was about, you know, why would we have to ban these things? Well, we ban them because they're dangerous. And, you know, there should be a mechanism where these bikes can get licensed like a motorcycle or a car, which would require you to go through the process, which would require you to take a test, a driving test, a written test. One of the discussions, or I think you just alluded to that a little while ago, was the fact that a lot of these kids that are riding these bicycles are not aware of the rules of the road as it relates to bicycles. So, I mean, how do we accomplish that? I mean, you know, so that was passed, and it will be up for a public hearing on October 15th. So I encourage all of you that if you have some concerns regarding the bill, please let us know either by email at counciltestimony@kauai.gov or showing up on October 15th at 8:30 in the morning for our public hearing. Second bill, again for first reading, which will be heard at our public hearing on October 18th, was a bill regarding taxi cabs. It's just an increase in the rates that we regulate as it relates to the touring of taxi cabs, where they actually get hired out for hours at a time instead of the short runs. This just increased the rate that they can charge to be in line with the cost of living here. The last increase was a long time ago, and this was a request of the taxi cab industry, and that passed as well. Again, October 15th will be the public hearing. And then we had two bills, and I know, Errol, you have a lot to say about this ones. These were the final reading of the bills that are going to supply the funding for the memorial for the Hanapepe massacre, which we've been talking about for a while now. And then there's going to be an event that they're going to dedicate this, not so much a memorial, what is it called?
They're calling it a memorial or a
monument.
monument. Yeah,
Monument. So these funds, and it's $315,000. That is what is being allocated for the planning and the design and getting the conceptual designs from local artists. So, I mean, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. You know, the original amount for it was like 315,000. Then throughout the process, it got reduced down. We put it back up to 315,000. And you know, for me, I'm just excited to see what is going to come out of it. They've engaged a lot of artists on island and around the state on, you know, how do we do this monument that respects both sides, and you know, is going to be something that everybody's proud of and looks at. I mean, well, you know how special it is when we go to DC and we look at these monuments that have been there before even a lot of the buildings were around there, you know. And for me, I always just see it as like these very significant, you know, historical things and it's really interesting, you know, and it gets really ingrained in your mind about what happened there and what's going on. And I think that's going to be the same with this monument. You know, it was a kind of hectic time on island. You know, I think there was no wrong party in it. You know, it was a union fighting for their rights. It was police trying to uphold the law, and there was a clash. And I think I'll be very interested to see and excited to see how the artist rendition of it, where they're respecting both sides and respecting the culture and the history of this event.
Yeah, I mean, it is such a significant part of this island's history that I think most people don't really appreciate because we don't talk about it. I mean, we don't. And in fact, as we went through this process of learning about this this incident, I learned so much, and I kind of, for me, it was like, you mentioned the monuments that are there in Washington, D.C. And when you go to a monument and you get educated about that event or the 9/11 memorial on the East Coast, that, you know, definitely you feel the mana, if you will, because we know what had occurred. We were all here when 9/11 happened, and we can all remember what we were doing when it happened. Not too many of us are here today that were present during the Hanapepe massacre. And so we've kind of out of sight, out of mind. But when you hear the stories of the surviving families of not just the labor union workers, but the police officers that were there and lost their lives, it's a significant event in our history. And this is one step of preserving that history and that culture. And I envision a lot of the school kids, when you go to school, elementary school, you'll see it when your kids start having these field trip farms to go to the museum or to wherever, the county building. They are going to have an opportunity to get to that monument and learn about that amazing history. And we have a lot of Filipino children that are in school that may not be aware of the sacrifices that were made way back when.
Yeah, and I believe because of the research and history that went on here, I mean, this is the first remembrance, the police remembrance I've been to in a couple years, and I always look at, like, we go to this remembrance where they have all the names of police officers that died in duty, and I would always look at how old it would go back. It's like from the 1800s, and I noticed that Kauai finally had like a whole bunch, and I assume that was from this event where I don't remember seeing those names in there before.
Right.
But I think with the history that everybody did, the names finally got into that list. And there's like, yeah, it was, I thought, I was like, oh, I don't remember seeing this before, but there's a whole bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I think we all share the excitement of being a part, very small part. We just get to approve the funds, but knowing that that small part is part of this memorial that will be constructed, and just knowing that not just residents but visitors as well will be educated and informed of what had occurred. That really was a significant part, as I said earlier. So. Yeah, now it's just waiting until we can get that thing erected. And like you, I am excited to see what they come up with. And I just know that with the people on that committee, we could thank our Open Space Commission for, purchasing or recommending that we purchase the property that this occurred on, and then this $315,000 for the memorial. There's so many people to thank that we'd be here all night. But to the Open Space Commission, of course, to our administration, and to the community members that have given up so much of their time to get to where we are today. Mahalo to all of them. So if you want to watch the council meetings, folks, you guys can watch it live every Wednesday morning at 8:30 on Ho'ike's YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, go to YouTube, search Ho'ike, and click the subscribe button, and you'll be notified whenever, as long as you click that bell icon next to the subscribe button, you'll be notified whenever Ho'ike uploads a new video onto their channel. You can also watch it live on our county website, www.kauai.gov. Just click the website or webcast meeting button, and you'll be taken to the menu or the library of videos. You can watch all of our meetings. Every one of our meetings are archived. Council meetings as well as the planning commission. We encourage you guys to do that. So, anything else, my friend?
No.
With that, we want to thank Ho'ike again for allowing us to come here every Thursday to do the recap. Roger, our cameraman, our faithful and loyal cameraman, is here every Thursday. We appreciate you all, and don't forget to tune in to the Ho'ike YouTube channel. Until next time, ahui ho.
Thanks.